If you're preparing for the NCLEX and you feel overwhelmed by too many resources, limited time, and real-life responsibilities, watch this video to the end. I want to share how I studied smarter for the NCLEX using fewer resources and less time, while juggling work, life, and childcare, and still passed in 85 questions as a first-time test taker. So, quick fun fact. I wrote my NCLEX on December 18th, 2025. Not only did I pass at 85 questions, I also got licensed the same day I wrote the exam. No clickbait, no exaggeration. If that surprises you, that's completely valid. Normally, Pearson VU quick results come out about 48 hours after the exam, but I never even paid for them. A few hours after my exam, I logged into my license application portal and realized the nursing board had already issued my license, or more specifically, my PIN. I didn't get an email or any notification. I only found out when I logged into my portal and saw my application status change to active, and there were 2 documents ready for download. So honestly, there was no need to pay for quick results. I decided to make this video because my NCLEX journey wasn't built around a perfect study routine. It was built around making smart, realistic choices with the little time and energy I had. If you're currently preparing for US board registration or the NCLEX while balancing work, family, or just feeling mentally exhausted, I think this will really speak to you. In this video, I'll walk you through the resources I used for my preparation, the impact each study material made, how I combined them in a way that fit my learning style and my busy life, and the mindset shift that made everything click for me. Before I get into that, let me share the biggest misconception that delayed my NCLEX prep so you don't make the same mistake. For a long time, I wasn't actively preparing for the NCLEX itself. And that's because I had been told that once you receive your authorization to test, it lasts 6 months. So instead of focused studying, I put most of my energy into the license application process. Looking back, my mistake was not checking that information myself. I later found out that the ATT is usually valid for about 90 days, although dependent on the state. When I finally received my ATT on September 29th, 2025, reality hit. I had until December 29th to take the exam. 3 months, no extensions, no excuses, just a fixed deadline, and I wasn't studying in ideal conditions. I was dealing with childcare, work, and honestly, mental exhaustion from trying to balance everything at once. There were days I wanted to study, but my brain just wasn't having it. If that's where you are right now, I want you to hear this. You're not lazy. You're not behind. You're human. That's exactly why studying efficiently mattered so much for me. One thing that really helped me during this season was prayer. As a Christian, I prayed before I studied, during my preparation, and even before and after the exam. Not as a replacement for studying, but as a way to stay grounded, calm, and focused. And whether you pray, meditate, or just take a moment to center yourself, having something that steadies your mind really matters. So, let's talk about what I actually used to study for the NCLEX. I used 3 main resources. I kept things focused and intentional, no overload. Archer was my main NCLEX prep tool, but I didn't use Archer to relearn nursing. I used it to practice how to answer NCLEX-style questions, improve my clinical judgment, and get comfortable with NCLEX logic. The biggest game changer for me on Archer was the 3-day live review. That review was everything. It worked like a full refresher and covered all the body systems, common NCLEX conditions, pharmacology, and other high-yield topics. It helped me reconnect with things I already knew instead of trying to learn everything from scratch. I didn't spend much time watching Archer videos on the app. I realized they were too slow for me and not the best use of my limited time. Instead of forcing it, I adjusted my approach. And honestly, that decision alone saved me hours. This adjustment led me to the second prep source, Simple Nursing videos on YouTube. For content review, I leaned heavily on Simple Nursing. The videos are straight to the point. The memory tricks are easy to remember and the explanations are clear. It was perfect for quick revision, especially in pharmacology and for topics and conditions that are similar. The third resource I used was Nexus Nursing on Facebook, and this was gold for me. I used it casually, especially when I felt tempted to scroll on social media. Watching Professor D break down questions and explain why every option was right or wrong completely changed how I approach questions. It trained me to think instead of just answering. Quick side note, if you don't like being shouted at to do the right thing, please avoid Nexus nursing. That's just by the way. Now let me share one of the smartest study decisions I made. I didn't review all my Archer questions. Time was always my biggest problem, and passively reading through hundreds of questions just wasn't efficient for me. So instead, after doing CAT exams and readiness assessments, I created new tests using only the questions I got wrong and did them in tutorial mode. That way, I got immediate rationale while actively thinking through each question. Yes, it still took time, but it was much more efficient. It helped me spot patterns in my mistakes, fix weak areas faster, and sharpen my thinking in real time. And that really mattered on exam day. My exam was heavy on safety questions, mostly SATA. I didn't recognize any questions, but I recognized the way I needed to think. I saw the traps, applied strategy, and trusted my judgment. When my computer shut off at 85 questions, I walked out more confident than when I walked in. Something people don't talk about enough is how much your background matters. My initial nursing education and my current practice as an emergency department nurse gave me a strong foundation. Because of that, content review felt like revision, not learning everything for the first time. And just to be clear, getting licensed a few hours after the exam had nothing to do with how I performed or the test center. It was simply because of the nursing board I registered with. Licensing timelines vary by state, and mine is simply that fast. So let me leave you with this. You don't need every resource. You don't need to study 12 hours a day. What you really need is clarity, consistency, and confidence. Use tools that work for you, and don't be afraid to adjust when something isn't serving you. If you prefer studying with a textbook, get yourself one, but make sure you're consuming the right information. Passing the NCLEX isn't about being perfect. It's about thinking like a safe nurse. If this video helped you, stay connected. Subscribe for more updates, like the video, and share it with someone who needs encouragement. You've got this. And yes, you can pass too. Thanks for watching. Bye.